distinguished gatherings, great personalities who have graced this dais today, especially the Chief of Belimat, Bangalore, Shri Shivadrudra Mahaswamiji, Reverend Father Gerald Disso, Member of Legislative Assembly, Srimati Mallika Prasad, Assistant Commissioner of Dakshin Kannada District, Dr. Hari Kumar, and various other distinguished personalities. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May peace and blessings be upon all of you. Probably you will share my feelings that for a short span of time, the campus of this magnificent church had turned into an island of religious harmony and coexistence in this ocean of ill feelings and misgivings amongst us. I am grateful to the Almighty Lord who guided us to conduct this program, and I extend my thanks to all of those who have extended their kind cooperation in conducting this program. Brothers and sisters, the personalities who spoke on this occasion are very much concernful about the present scenario, the conditions in which we are living, and really the path they have shown is a kind of light in this darkness. They are very much concerned about the posterity, the forthcoming generation, especially Dr. Shivadrudra Swamiji and Gerald D'Souza, the Reverend Father. They are of more concern about the future generation. Swamiji, as was rightfully telling, we should inculcate moral education, religious ethos in our syllabus for our school children. We are passing through a very trial and testing time. We should take stock of the situation in a very realistic manner. We should not live in utopia and have wishful thinking. This era really has great achievements, but at the same time, we should not ignore the shortcomings of this era. Friends, as we see, the digital era, the IT and BT era has witnessed the decline of human values. We have discarded values like gramophone and typewriters. Who cares for them today? It is a very great area of concern that the human values are declined day by day. The beacon in this declining era and era of degeneration is really the religious teachings, the religious personalities, the religious heads who can show us the right path. As Mallika Prasad was telling us, we should shun hatred and develop tolerance. Unless and until we teach this important principle of life to our young generation, to our children, and also to our own self, we cannot have a peaceful and harmonious society. Maybe we are progressing in different walks of life. Our graph may be flying high economically, industrially, and even in space technology. But while we see the ground realities, we have to bow our heads in shame. Particularly, this coastal belt of late has shown us very great and painful scenes, be they the educational campuses scene, market scene, even while traveling in the buses, we come across such kind of encounters which causes pain to every concernful citizen of this great land. Why all this is happening? There is a reason. We should probe into it. We should go deep into it and come out with a solution. The solution lies in our religious practices. As these great personalities were expressing, really, religion is a light in the darkness. But unfortunately, as Muhammad Kunni was telling, we have given a secondary position to religion in our life. This unfortunate development is a product of materialistic aspect of this era. Unfortunately, materialism, material gain, and all kind of luxuries and selfishness, greed has dominated our total outlook of life. We have very less importance for spiritualism, for the principles, for morality, for ethics. What we can expect when these are deep-rooted things? It is nothing but what we are seeing today. What we feel, the things are still in doable position. The need of the hour is somebody should raise to this occasion and call people who are like-minded and assemble a strength to withstand these kind of encounters, to withstand this kind of ill feelings and hatred, and to clear the atmosphere and to get an harmonious, peaceful and coexisting atmosphere around us. When we take stock of this situation, we really come to the conclusion that after independence, our planners, our great leaders had given much importance to the industrialization and economic growth of this nation. As Swamiji was pointing out, had we given any equal importance to religious teachings, moral education, we could not have seen these days. Brothers and sisters, I admire the deliberations, the contributions from this dais on this occasion. They were contributing to the fragrance of the day, and I pray that the impact of this dais should be deep and long-lasting in our lives. We should carry this message to our families, to our friends, and to our younger generation. Jamaat-e-Islami Hind has no doubt crafted this occasion as an Eid get-together to pass on this message. But it is not the sole responsibility of Jamaat-e-Islami Hind. It is a pluralistic society. As a constituent of pluralistic society, Jamaat-e-Islami Hind has rendered its responsibility. But I feel that, as Kunni was telling, the other constituents also should organize such kind of programs wherein we can share the feelings, where we can express our views, where we can contribute to the well-being of the society in totality. I hope these kind of occasions will go long along in our life. One thing which I would like to point out is that the significant question before us is about the viewpoint of human life. How we view human life. What in our eyesight is the value of light? Why we have been created? What is our responsibility? Where we go from here and where we end at the end of the day? We all differ in our views about human life, but we are common and we share our feelings as far the death is concerned. There is no difference of opinion about death, but there are differences about human life. These differences are there in human nature. We cannot evade, we cannot eradicate, but we should come out with something which is common among all of us. We are all creatures from the same parent. Quran says, Ya ayyuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min zakarin wa unsa wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila lita'arafu inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. O men, O people, you have been created from a single man and woman, but you have been divided into clans and sects for the sake of your own identification. The noblest amongst you is the one who is most afraid of your Lord. We do not distinguish or discriminate people on the basis of religion, language or sex, but really there is a discrimination line, mark of discrimination on the basis of his righteousness, on the basis of his practice in life, on the basis of the way which he leads his life. The Quran quotes a very important cause for this fearlessness. وَإِذَا خِيلَ لَهُ اتَّقِ اللَّهَ أَخَذَتْهُ الْعِزَّةُ بِالْإِثْمِ. The Almighty says, when he is asked to have fear of God, his egoistic sense will stick him to the sins. This will drive him to the hell. The ego which we are nourishing in our own self is coming in the way of understanding things. We should have human dignity, but it should not become ego. Ego, when it strengthens, it will really hardens the heart. Ego is a very great hurdle to see things beyond their reach. Egoistic personality, egoism now has become a very big and large tree among all of us. Unless and until we feel ourselves humble creatures of this universe and have equal respect to other fellow beings and have equal respect to other religions, we cannot dream of a harmonious society. The span of life which we are passing through is very short. Day in and day out, we see people departing us. Very great personalities have departed from us. Young people have departed. Aged people have departed. This is the thing which nobody can deny. This is the thing which nobody can decline. But still we don't realize that we are also going to meet this end. We feel we are here for a long period. We are here to be forever. That's why our attitude and approach towards life is like this. Unless and until we realize. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam once said, as iron gets rusted, human heart also gets rusted. When human heart gets rusted, it cannot have the original feelings. He was asked, what is to be done to remove this rust? He said, remember your death when you are alone. If you remember your death, really the rust which is recurring in your heart will wash away. This is the reality, but still we have less importance to this reality. Friends, this materialistic world has taken us in such a condition that there is a huge gap between haves and have-nots. Human greed, selfishness, communalism, casteism, even nationalism has grown up like a big wall among us. What we see today, particularly in our nation, as Times of India has recently reported, the Swiss bank authorities have disclosed the total amount deposited by Indians. It is an astronomical figure. You may not believe it. The bank authorities have disclosed that 70 lakh crores of rupees are lying with Swiss bank. This is the amount of one country wherein the Indians have deposited their money. Imagine the other countries wherein our countrymen have deposited their money. It is 13 times more than the national budget. 70 lakh crores. Where this money had come from, why this countrymen took the money to the other nations, and at the other end we come across the farmer suicide every day. T. Sainath is one of environmentalists who writes in the Hindu. He narrates that at an average 16,000 farmers commit suicide in India. Sahir Ludhiani, you might have heard of him. He narrates that इफलास ज़दा दहकानों के हलबेल बिके खलियान बिके, जीने की तमन्ना के हाथों जीने ही के सब सामान बिके। जब कुछ भी रहा ना बिकने को, जिस्मों की तिजारत होने लगी, खिलवत में जो ममनू थी जलवत में जसारत होने लगी। The poverty stricken farmers have disposed of their belongings, the sources of their livelihood. Their plows, their cattle, their fields have all been disposed of. When they are left nothing with to dispose, they are now beginning flesh trade. What was once forbidden in privacy now is publicly happening. This is the status of our country. This is the status of our sons of soil, whom we call as the farmers. On the other hand, we have our own people depositing money in foreign banks. Where we are going, where we will end up, what kind of planning, what kind of feeling for our fellow beings we have in our own selves. Do we not have any kind of patriotism? Do we not have any sympathy with the concern and with the problems of our fellow beings? This is all the fruit of materialistic aspect of life, which is free from religious feelings and religious teachings. Unless and until we come to our senses, we bring people to their senses, unless and until we take them to the religious teachings, to the spirituality, this problem cannot be evaded. This cannot be eroded with the stick of law. We have seen so many legislations being passed out every day. Recently we had an amendment to the Coca bill by our assembly, but still you cannot control the crimes. Unless and until you develop the fear of God, the sense of answerability before Him in the life after death, you cannot expect a human being to be a human being in this life. You cannot bring reformation with the force of law. That will be a superficial thing. Unless the man changes within himself, nobody can impose a change on him. At the most, we can curb him to a limited extent, but unless and until we change his inner sense, we cannot bring a real change in this society. As far as Jamaat-e-Islami Hind is concerned, Jamaat believes that we should have a kind of cooperation as far the virtues are concerned. There is a principle in Quran, Ta'awunu alal birri wa taqwa. cooperate with each other in the path of virtues. Wala ta'awun wala lismi wal udwan. Do not cooperate in the path of vices. And based on this principle, Jamaat extends its cooperation and seeks cooperation from others in order to promote virtues, to promote human values, to promote harmony, to promote the feeling of coexistence in the society. This occasion, as I told you, Jamaat has crafted in the pretext of Eid al-Adha, the 10th day of the last month of lunar calendar, wherein the Hajj pilgrimage culminates. The kind of message which we wanted to disseminate from this stage, we have tried our level best. I owe my special thanks to the distinguished speakers who have expressed from their inner hearts, who have shared today, and I pray that the message which is being disseminated should be long lasting and should be deep, and the fragrance of this great campus should spread to the entire Puttur town, and not only to the Puttur town but across the district and coastal belt as well. With this humble prayer, I conclude my very humble views. Jazakallah wa akhru dawana anil hamdulillah.